Tolotbe Ibitola, and I welcome everyone to the 8th edition of Between You and Me. I'm happy to be here again. My guest today is a teacher par excellence. He's a very gentle man, but not gentle in the class. So I'm going to bring him on now. His name is, I hope I'm going to call it well, Crazy. Crazy. Get to that. Let's start the program this way. I want to ask about your childhood.
I actually grew up at Ilukweju.
Okay.
Ilukweju Pan Group, Mushin.
Okay.
That's where I grew up. Yeah,
Okay.
but I had my first teaching experience at Roseland at Mafolu.
Oh yeah, because I'm always very very concerned. That was I said I have the understanding that like you grew up in that Mafoluk. Okay. So that means you have a very good knowledge of that environment.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Can you walk us through your childhood experience in just a
Okay. Yeah, let me start by saying let me welcome everyone joining us. I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much from the bottom of my heart because this is a milestone. I have journeyed, and probably I was looking forward to a time when I would have to speak out, when I have to share my experiences, and I thank God for coming in contact with Tolu. Tolu, I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. I once told you I am a core introvert. Sometimes I believe in staying behind. I don't want people to see me. Let me be the one. Let me be the one
push the
controlling
from behind.
the puppet. But since this has happened, I know God has willed that. So I want to thank you so much. Now, talking about my childhood, I was born in January 18th, 1982.
Wow.
That means I clocked 40 in January. Yeah. So I was born to Mr. I was born to Mr. and Mrs. Kewulezi. My dad is in his early 70s. He was once a businessman. Now he's into estate agent. So he's an estate agent rather. So my mom is into trading. Trading. So they both live in Lagos at present. I am the fifth of 6 children. I'm the fifth of 6 children, 3 boys, 3 girls.
Wow.
But fortunately we have 2 girls now because I lost the last born in 2004.
Wow.
So thank you so much. And I had my primary education at Kosibete Primary School at Ilukweju. And then I later had my secondary education at 2 schools. The first, from GSS 1 to 3, I had that at Ilukweju Grammar School at Oshodi. Then because I failed after my GSE, yes, Ilograms. Thank you, Tolu. Thank you. Now, when I sat for my junior YEC, I failed math because I don't know. I just hated math, and so because I failed it, my dad had to take me away from that school into another school. I was very happy about it anyway because I felt if I continue to be in this school, I might not be serious. So I was taken to Ilukweju College at Obaniko.
Yeah.
That was why I started from SS1 to SS3. So I have two alma maters, so to speak. So then from there I proceeded to the Obafemi Awolowo University to study English language. Then after then to University of Ibadan for my masters. So since then, I've been on top of my game, abiding, with the noble profession, giving the best I can just to nurture life to greatness.
Okay, thank you so much, Izzy. So I want to talk about an aspect of you leaving the secondary school and going to Obafemi Awolowo University. Was there any break? Because
yes, there was.
Days, I just remember that a lot of us were very very conscious of writing our exams in public schools. because
yes,
you're always like,
yes.
when you write your exams in this kind of schools, you don't get your admission straight away. So did you have any break during that time?
Tolu, I did. And it was
because
at some
when
point.
said it now, you said it like you just transited so easily, smoothly.
Yes, not so. At the time I finished my secondary school in the year 2000, some of my mates sat for JAM that same year and they gained admission. It was worrisome for some of us. So I sat for my first JAM in 2001. I had 197. That was the first attempt. I wasn't really discouraged. I felt, let me give it another try. In 2002, I tried again. Can you believe that my result was withheld? And my dad was frustrated. My dad had to call me in the bedroom, looked at me in the face and said, look, I'm done. You just have to find something else doing. Probably you go and learn a vocational trade. I couldn't imagine my dad talking, but I understand, and I did. I left home. I stayed with a cousin for close to 1 month, and Tolu, right there, I knew I wasn't fit to be there. I left there. I came back home. Yes, I came back home without telling my dad. I told my dad, look, I'm going to take the last shot, and I'm going to foot the bill. I'm going to buy the form, and do that. And I did. And when the result came out, I had 226, and it was that 226 that made it possible for my name to appear on the first list.
Wow.
And today I thank God for the journey.
Yeah. So
it's really great.
Yeah. So let me play the devil's advocate here. So would you say it was because your dad was paying the bills for the other jobs that you didn't pass those ones?
No, actually, Tolu, you're very funny. The thing is, for the first and second time, I chose UNN, and at the third attempt, something said, Izzy, choose OAU. But at that time, I had two big bros. One was studying accounting, the other was studying and in particular course I can't remember. I usually visit them. They were in their finals. I would ask them questions about OAU, about what I need to do, and I had to go into wild consultation because each time I visited them, it was as if I was on their neck. I said, look, this is my third attempt, and I can't go into OAU and mess up. I want to come out in flying colors, and that was it. So immediately I chose OAU, I scaled through. I used to tell my students, if you've chosen one, if you've chosen a university, one first and second time it's not working, then probably you need to shift to another one. Probably your luck will shine. So that was what happened.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. For what you've just said now. One thing I gained here now is that you can't continue to do something in a particular way and expect a different result.
This.
So now you did it the first time, you did it second time, the third time you needed to change your approach to it, and it worked. So I've learned out there. This is a lesson for us that when working, when doing whatever we do in this life, when you say that one does not work, why don't you try another? Because we cannot continue to do something in the same way and expect a different result. Thank you for that. So I want to ask that, then what inspired your going into teaching? Because what you just said now, nobody around you was the teacher, if I get you right. So was there something that inspired you into teaching?
Yes. There are two things. Pastor Paul, blessed memory. Pastor Paul. Yeah, Pastor Paul was my mentor.
Wow.
At the time, I finished secondary school and I wanted to search for a good tutorial center. I was able to find one, and there I found this man whose passion for teaching was out of this world. Pastor Paul will come vigorously, agile. Let's talk business. I watch him every time he comes in after teaching, stroll down with him until he gets into the cab, he calls me as a king. That was the nickname he gave to me, and he was the one that activated that dream of becoming a teacher. But sadly, in 2016, he died in his sleep. I got to know when I browsed through, because I'm a frequent user of Nairaland.
Okay.
That was where the information came, and I looked at the face. I said, "Wow, this is Pastor Paul." I got to know he died in his sleep, and he died unmarried. But he promised then to visit me. He visited my place of residence, stayed for a while. We talked, and I told him about my dream of becoming a teacher. He said, "Look, being a teacher comes with you looking away a lot of things, not minding what anybody says, but the journey is fulfilling." That was what he told me, and I said, "Look, I'm ready to go through that journey because I've seen that in you." So after then, I wanted to meet him again, Tolu, to thank him, to appreciate him, and hug him and say, "And they thank you for crossing my path," but I could not. Tolu died.
That was so emotional.
So I hope he's somewhere listening to me. I want to thank him wherever he is, Pastor Paul. I love you so much. I want to thank you for making me what I am today. Then secondly, I had this flair to impact. When I was in secondary school, I thought my direct successor.
Sorry, before going into your flair to impact, who was Pastor Paul to you? Was he a family member or a teacher?
He wasn't a family member. He was just a teacher, a tutor, who yes, Uterus Center, yes, a tutor who went around doing what he knew how to do best, impacting. That was what he did, and he did it to the best of his ability. He moved people, and so it pains me that I lost him.
I'm so sorry to hear about his death, and we hope that his soul is resting in peace. Yeah. Now, before you talk about the impact, the flair that you have for teaching that also inspired you, I want to quickly say something about Pastor Paul. And just like you said, maybe he's somewhere watching us, listening to us now. I want to thank him also on your behalf. Can you imagine? Several years after, you are here still saying thank you to Pastor Paul. And that's a message for a whole lot of us also, that whatever we are doing at a particular time, we ought to do it well. We should do it well. We don't know how far these things can go. We don't know where it's going to lead us. We don't know who we are impacting. We don't know the lives that we are touching. This is Eze here now talking about Pastor Paul several years after Pastor Paul is gone. And that's one thing I say about life, that if you want to win, if you want to continue to live, it is by your doing. It is not by all the frivolities. It is by the works of your hand, by your own living forever is doing the appropriate thing, the best things that you have to do in the right way. I appreciate you for this message. We have not even gone deep, and we're beginning to take lessons from this episode. All right. Okay, can you please continue?
Yes, as I was saying, then I started taking my direct successor, those in SS2. I had finished my WAEC in 2002. They were about entering SS3. So I had to take them at Kosibeta, the primary school where I experienced them. So I took permission. I had to get permission from one of the teachers to use one of the classes to take them. And then, but as time went on, my auntie, she's here with us, Rosalind, a woman I cherish, a woman I love. She was the one. Look, I told you, I was right in Oshodi. I was working at an insurance company, and she was driving by. She called my name. She said, "What am I doing?" I said, "I'm working. My office was nearby." He said, why don't I think of coming to her school and start off as an assistant teacher?"
Wow.
That was God talking. I met her there, and immediately, Tolu, I didn't waste much time. The next day, I headed straight to Roseland. That was where that journey, that seed was grown. So I want to appreciate her here. She's here listening. That God used her to activate that purpose that He has, destined me for. So I appreciate her. Roseland, I know you're here. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you, Roseland. If you're here listening to us, we appreciate you. And the way Hazel is talking, it's not that a lot of people say that teaching is not a profitable job. But the way you are talking and appreciating everyone, now it seems like we should all come into teaching. So I want to ask that after all these people have inspired you and you have the plan, what keeps motivating you? And for you to still be appreciating people, like that means you feel so fulfilled and blessed in that field.
Oh my God, Tolu.
So what it will be like that for you to be excited and happy about it?
Penis. Let me paint this picture. Whenever I come across my ex-students, I want you to listen very carefully. Whenever I come across my ex-students and we probably snap, I take pictures, you can hardly tell who the tutor is, because our facial look is almost the same. Now when they see me, they'll tell me, Uncle, you say you're not growing older. I said, how can I grow older? I said, how can I grow older when I'm doing that thing which nurtures my body each day, rebrands me, brings life out of me. Every day I wake up every morning, I want to impart lives. And so it for me, posterity is one reason why I'm scared of posterity, because I can't meet my ex-student maybe later in the future and he or she looks at me and say, this useless man that tarnished my future. Cholu, that scares me. That scares me. And I've not seen any of my ex-students that will see me and would not be tempted to hug me, whether a male or a female. I'm saying that boldly, because over when I take them, it's as if I'm parenting them. All right, I'm taking care of them in the absence of their parent. I'm an emotional person. I sometimes I cry when I see what students are going through. So over time, it has been that, and God will question me. God will ask me that the number of souls I put in your care, did you take care of them? That is my fear, Tolu. That's my fear. So, and if I have one student in class, I will exert the same energy that I would have exerted even if they were in their hundreds. I'm telling you this. I'm not moved by numbers. I'm moved by the soul that I have to impact, because I will be questioned. I will be held accountable for it.
That's so instructive. So whatever you do, whether it's a crowd, whether it's just one person, you do it as if you are impacting millions. You do it like your life depends on it. Thank you so much, Hazel, for that. And
you're welcome.
You keep talking about your ex-students, how you that you're still in contact with them, and how have you been able to make this happen? Like everybody, I don't know, some of my own mates, I don't know the last time I spoke with many of them, but you keep referring to how you've been in contact with these people, and like you said, some of them are even married. So how have you been doing it? None of us will learn from you how to
that is why I sent you the topic. I said teaching, going beyond the four walls of the classroom.
Exactly.
Look, if you're passionate about this job, it continues after the classroom. Now, when I was in Roseland, when I was in Roseland, Tolu, anytime one of my pupils, anytime he or she doesn't come, then my pupils would lead me to their home. I knew virtually all their homes. I would go there, knock at the door. I know why you didn't come. The parent to see me, say Uncle Eze. Uncle Eze was a household name in Mafoluko. from 2000 and 2004. When I walk on streets, you hear children, Uncle Eze, Uncle Eze. Though I feel embarrassed, but that is the legacy that I unconsciously I didn't know, because I felt I needed to know. Even those that lost their parents at that tender age as orphans, I had to also care for them. And so now they are grown ups, they are married, and when we reunite again, I can't talk to them the way I used to. They are now adults. I'll call them madam. I'll call them as, and I will talk about life. Where are you? How are you faring? Are there challenges? And in my own little experience, I charge them. I encourage them. Some of them are going through a lot now. Some are going through a lot, and the little I can do is to chat them up or call them and tell them that we have to keep moving. We have to keep trudging. But do not lay your hand in something illegal, because that was not how I left you.
Thank you, Jose. I want to quickly read Hadazion's message. She says, "This is exactly what we don't have in today's teachers. The joy of being a teacher. A real teacher derives his or her joy from the success of the students you come across." Exactly. A real teacher derives the success and the joy from the success of the students they come across as well. The joy of the students they come across. And that is what Eze has been doing. Usman Oladipupo says, "Kudos to you, Nwabo Eze. Proud of you."
That was my class. That was my head boy in primary school. The head prefect.
Can you imagine? Thank you, Usman. Ademola Adeshola says, "You are absolutely right, Eze.
As usual.
Teaching and learning transcends the four walls of a classroom. They can and do occur beyond that official space." Exactly. So teaching, but these days now, just like Hadazayon says, these days you just find teachers. A lot of them are just into the field because they just want to make ends meet. It is not because they are passionate about it. And that is why you see teachers doing a lot of things to students in the classroom, to kids. Babies, you see them maltreating kids because they are just there for the money, not because they want to impact lives. And I hope people are here, our viewers and others who will be listening to this, watching this conversation later on, will learn from this, that whatever it is, whatever profession that you find yourself, always know that it is not just about the money. What impact are you making in that field? What impact are you making? I want to quickly read Oluwayinka Arawomo says, "I agree that as teachers, we go beyond teaching the content, but creating safe and supportive environment for them in and out of class." Eze, you've got a lot of supporting teachers here that beyond the four walls of the classroom. Yes, it is very unfortunate that today's teachers are more interested in the financial benefits, not on the well-being and the success of the students. Teaching should be a passion. That Alexander is talking now. Teaching should be.
That's my elder brother.
Wow, thank you so much.
That's my elder brother.
Brother, for being here today. Thank you. And we hope to see more of you on this wall. We have exciting, interesting, and what else? Everything good on this world that you would not want to miss. Thank you. Okay, so teaching should be a passion and not a self-imposed vocation. Nice one, Ezelous. We need to encourage the dedicated teachers. Yes, Awodi Afonke says we need to encourage the dedicated teachers. And the question, I think this Awodi comments will lead me to the next question now. Now talking about encouraging dedicated teachers, how do we encourage them? How do you think, in your whole experience, how do you think teachers having passion can be encouraged?
Well, the first thing is you need to have the passion first. Your passion must come first before other things, encouragement, well-being. You need to accept that this is my calling and I have to go all the way. Even when things are not moving right, you have to make sacrifices as a teacher, because if you depend on some other things around you, it could weigh you down. And so external factors shouldn't weigh you down in getting to that destination. You have to squeeze your time, create, make sacrifices, financial sacrifices sometimes to make sure that you achieve that, aim. And so it's quite unfortunate that here in Nigeria, teaching is looked down on. I mean, a noble profession that produces the mighties, the doctors, the lawyers, and the engineers, but we are looked down on. So it takes whoever knows this reality, but is still in that circle. Some of us have left that circle because it's frustrating. For me, I've not felt anything frustrating for over 20 years now. Yes, Tolu, I've not, because it's something that lives in me. It lives in me, and and it's something that I eject out. I need to pour it out into the lives of the student. So for school management, we talk about poor salary structures. That has always been the pain in the Nigerian system, and that alone could frustrate you out of the system. But if you have passion for that job, some persons can still be there managing. What we call passion sometimes needs encouragement, but passion in the real sense of it involves sacrifice. Things that people will see. Yes, things that people will see, and they call you, they say they tell you you are a fool, you're a fool. What are you doing? Get to see others. The way people will see it is different from how you are seeing it. And you don't have to care about how they are seeing it. It's about you in that regard. So I understand that school management are not doing well. The economy is crumbling. And I understand that sometimes they delay salary payments. And the teachers sometimes, some live in frustration. So if you're not passionate about that job, writing of lesson notes, lesson plan, it could be painstaking, long hours on the job, from 7 to 6. You spend long hours, and at the end, you're not appreciated. They talk down on you. Look, I I'm short. I accept criticism, but when I'm on top of my job, I have to let you know, even as the school manager, that I'm doing my job. Yes. When I'm standing on top, when I'm on top of my job and I'm seeing that I'm doing the right thing, I always like to speak out. Yes, I do not fear anyone or any, there's a way you are on top of your game, and you don't want to look stupid before people. So it's not, and parents are not helping matters too, because when you're a parent and you are influencing the school, you are controlling the school because you are wealthy, and you come to school, you talk to the teachers, talk to them anyhow. They also have dignity. Your child doesn't do well, and obviously he or she didn't do well, and the next thing you come, you drive in and you start talking on top of your voice.
I'm sorry for cutting short. I think we will get to that stage of the parent aspect in the education. So thank you for people who have answered these questions. Like, welfare of the teachers should be a priority, yes. For teachers to be encouraged, providing enabling environments also, yes. Because you can use some proprietors, if you see the way they talk to teachers sometimes, and you'll be like, oh, is this really happening? But we'll get there. Okay, so with all these that you said, I want to ask that, has there been any challenging moments for you during this past 20 years?
That's a very...
Or what would you say is your most challenging moment?
What will I say? If I tell you there's none, I probably have not been meditative enough. The challenge has always been the financial aspect.
I'm sorry for coming in there. I don't know if it's possible to adjust your camera a little well so that...
Okay. Is it okay now?
It's better now. Yeah.
Okay. So the financial aspect has always been the issue. Like I said, teachers are not paid well, and for me, I had to resign. At a point, I had to resign because here in Nigeria, people talk about exploitation. That you use teachers and at the end you do not appreciate them, talk down on them just because you are he who pays the piper calls the tune. And so for me, that's one challenge I had. The pay wasn't coming, and I had to resign and stand on my own. I had to stand on my own and do other things, that will give me comfort. Wake up every morning, go to where I have to teach, earn my money, take care of the family. I wouldn't have to wait for someone else, So that's for me. Over the last 20 years, that's the area. That's the only area. Any other area I can't tell. It has been fulfilling, it has been enjoyable, it has been memorable.
Okay, so we would say that is the financial aspect has been the most challenging.
Yes.
And I like here someone says that being passionate does not mean that you should. I don't want to paraphrase it. Let me read it the way she put it. I can say not a lot of people. She says teachers should not always suffer because of their passion. Not about salary alone. The school system can be frustrating for teachers too. Good educational policy can improve the teachers' welfare. Yeah. Thank you, Hawodi. Yes, good educational policy. The thing is that we have this educational policy, because I remember taking a course on education policy in the university. That there are a lot of these good things, these policies, even with kindergarten kids. Everyone, there are good policies. It is policies. It is just that it is in the letters. Our government is not making use of these policies. They are very brilliant policies in the books, but we are not making use of it. And that is why we are calling on our government. It is not just about writing these things. It is not just about saying this. Can you please put them into action so that everything can work? When the educational system is working, every other thing will fall in place, will fall in good place. Yeah, Usman, he says that he can see the fire burning in you, Hazy. Yes, the fire, even me, I can feel the fire. It's a really cold day here on my hand, but I can feel the fire. So with the challenges being faced by teachers and lecturers in today's learning environment, one has to encourage and glorify people like Nwambweze. Yes, thank you. It isn't very unfortunate that our society look down. I don't want to keep reading comments because I still have a lot of questions, but I want to appreciate everyone who has been commenting. Yes, I see that we are really enjoying the conversation. Olua Blessing Awoni says that despite your positive attitude towards teaching, have you ever been disrespected by any students? That's a question for you, Hazy. How did you react
Do you want me to answer that now?
This challenge? Please, let's go into it, because I have that question. I wanted to ask you a question relating to this blind, because you said you started teaching early. That means you would have had some very grown-up students amongst your high school students when you were teaching. I intended asking that, how did you manage those kids? Because a whole lot of you would have been at the same height at that time. Has there been any time that they've been rude, and how did you attend to it? And that is the same question Blessing is asking here. Have you ever been disrespected by any students? How did you react and overcome this challenge?
Yes, of course, definitely. You would have students that want to tempt you, want to see how far you can go, and see how far your anger, can hit them. Now, I need to talk about teamwork. I believe in teamwork. Look, in a school, if there's a disrespectful child to a teacher, every other teacher must stand. Every other teacher must stand behind that teacher. We're not having that in schools anymore. It's lacking. I remember in Roseland, exactly 2010, one of the students in SS1, he came to me and said, Uncle Izzy, there's a particular guy out there who has threatened to beat you up. Yes. All this while it was a prank. I had to meet my co-teachers and tell them, because we do pass that path when we all go home after school. Yes. So, at some point we got to know that it was all a prank all those while. And if I tell you how we descended on this boy, Patrick, Mr. Lakon, my brother who's here, AB, you could see that teamwork, because it's like a ham on one is a ham on everyone, and we did justice to that, and we had to call the parents, the proprietress, she's here, to Rosalind, got to know about it too, and the boy was suspended. In short, the proprietress wanted to expel him, but he was suspended because we got to know that he had mixed himself with the bad gangs, you know. So, but in other areas where student disrespect, for me, I call them one-on-one and talk to them. I need to talk to them. When I see you are overreacting, I call you one-on-one and we talk. I ask you, is there anything that is happening at home that has triggered or that is triggering your reaction? I need to know, because it's not possible that you start reacting that way. And they end up telling me, some from separated homes, some from single mother parents. So from there, I got to know that this is their problem, and we move on there. We move on, interact, you know. Well.
Okay, thank you. I want you blessing. I hope this question has been answered. Like here, okay. So he mentioned teamwork, and to also pay attention to the child to know if there's something that has triggered that behavior. All right, thank you. Thank you also, Emmanuel. Okay, very beautiful education policies on paper. Yes, exactly. Poor implementation is the problem. There are policies on paper. It is just the implementation that we need to work on. Okay. Now let's quickly go to the next question. At this age of technology and everything and there, I think your camera. Are you trying to position?
Yes. Okay. Yes. No. I'm sorry.
No problem. Yeah. So, is there a way technology, or let me say, what is the place of technology in teaching and learning in this present day?
Yeah, you know, being a 21st century teacher comes with a lot of effort, a lot of sacrifice, moving away from your comfort zone. And let me tell you, I'm saying it boldly, that most of our teachers are not ready to move.
Wow.
They are comfortable where they are.
With the chalk and paper.
That is why that is why probably you are comfortable with the pay you get, because the more you become relevant, the more the pay goes up. The more the pay goes up. No school would employ a teacher who experiences setback in his credentials or qualification. The world has moved on, and so technological innovation in teaching has made learning, makes learning interesting and engaging, especially for today's, robotic or computerized kids. During our time, Tolu, we still enjoyed teaching, even when the teacher will have to spend about 40 minutes teaching, just a one-man show. Yes, I mean, he or she will call the shot there, and I will listen with the cane right in his hand. But we're in a new era. The kids we have now, they are not like us. I call them robots. When I call them robots, they feel offended. I say, you guys are robots. Why? Because you came in when the phone, the technological advancement came in. And so anything we have to do must conform with them.
you know, them something. You can't stay on Google first.
Yeah, they quickly grasp it, You can't spend 40 minutes standing and they're just looking at you as if you are a log of wood. It's not exciting. If the teacher has to discover that. And so their level of assimilation is in geometrical, pace. Yes. And so we need, but I need to say this. We don't have this in Nigeria, except for some schools that are very expensive, Tolu. Very expensive. And the funny thing is that I want my child to go in this school, but I have to be ready to cough out the money for the tuition fee. I have to.
So where do we?
I have to cough out probably something. I mean, that is it, and that's why we need government. Government is not doing enough, because if our schools are well equipped, our children would learn education, would learn with ease, and they'll be able to compete Yes, they're able to compete with their contemporaries around the world. The people pushing, the movers and shakers of education in Nigeria are the private sectors, private stakeholders. They are the ones, but it comes with a cost. So we rather make do with the mushroom schools around us, and augment what they are being taught at home. We become teachers at home and see how we can, meet up with whatever educational needs our children, have to. That is what we are going through here, and again, and this technological innovation also makes it faster, makes learning faster and efficient. Delivery of lesson. I remember when I was in Sunshine, I taught in Sunshine from 2013 to 2014. The school made effort to use projectors. Yes, because if I start mentioning the technological innovation used today, I'm telling you, some teachers might go for the training, they may not understand how it is used. So for projector, we have to use projectors then. You type your lesson note in your laptop, and it's what was easier. I think the school tried in its own little way to help teachers, but after the COVID era, everything bounced back, the COVID era. So, and this also reduces the bogus use of textbooks. If we have the technological innovation, I'm not saying textbooks are important in the library, you go and read, but in classrooms, it's easier for the children to watch, see pictures, those who can learn through visual means, because our children are different. We have those who can learn through visuals. Just show them the pictures. Yes, they can. Some through auditory. Just let them listen. If they can listen, I tell you, they get it. And those who are into kinesthetics, their hands, movers, they have to touch things with their hands. I'm talking in the aspect of primary education now. For those who are in primary education, this is very important because they need more of pictures, no more of talking. There's no amount of talk that would impact these children. They need to see. They're curious. I want to see. And whatever they see lasts long in their memory. And then Tolu, when I was in AICS, anyway, when I taught in African American International Christian School, what we did was, in place of technology, what I did was I looked through my scheme of work and I designed. When you enter my class, then it will wow you. I had to get cardboard and design each of the cardboard in relation to the scheme of work. So as the pupils come in, they see a lot of things on the wall and they can read through them. By the time I start the class with them, they already know the answer.
And unconsciously.
Seeing by learning. Yes, unconsciously. Yes. So if you're a primary school teacher, try and connect your scheme of work, connect it to what you paste on the walls. It has a way of transforming those kids. It could be drawing. It could be, if you're going to teach pronouns, put it there. They will just be looking at it and reading. A time will come when you would introduce it in class and they'll tell you, Auntie, I know it, without you defining it. Is that not great? That's great. And again, it reduces the financial burden of school and parents. We don't need to buy textbooks all the time, because we have technology has taken over. And so just go to school, sit down, the teacher has prepared everything, you glance through, all right, then you get whatever you need to learn from. And moving on and on and on and on that. So I can't exhaust, everything.
I see that technology has really brought a lot of advantages to the students as well as the teachers. I would say.
Yeah, but sorry, I want to cut in. I'm sorry to cut in.
Please go ahead.
Now, I know in Nigeria, we don't pay much attention to listening. We don't. We only pay attention to reading. All right. When I was in AICS, what I did was I had to get a Bluetooth speaker, and I had to read through because we were using the American curriculum. So I had to read through a short passage with my voice note, record it. I had to play it out during their examination. I need them to listen to it and answer questions from it. That's also technology. It's not necessary that you have to wait till when you have that finance to no, you have to start somewhere, make yourself relevant, because I thought that, because look at why in Nigeria of today, we are all talking, nobody's listening. So nobody's listening. You want to talk, I want to talk, who's listening to me? And I don't want to produce children who will grow up just talking and not listening. That is why I injected that, yes, into them. Learn to listen to people. You learn a lot while listening. So that's what I have to say.
You know why this talking about learning to listen to people makes me remember something. At the beginning of the year, we asked our son, what are the things he would like to improve on this year? And just from the blues, he just said, I like to listen more. And I was like, where did this boy get this one? Like, listening more to people. And like, whoa. I was so impressed. Like, okay, now you know the value of listening to people. It is not just about talking. Sometimes listening even gives you the answer to the questions that have been on your mind for so long.
Yeah.
I got a lot of comments here that I would like to quickly read through.
Yes.
Teachers should not always suffer. Okay, I have gone through that before. I want to say, okay, there's a question for you here. I'm going to read it out, but I want to quickly read the comment. Emmanuel says, you must be upgraded in yourself to be at par with their learning needs. If not, you would not fit in. Exactly. Just like you said, you must always upgrade yourself as a teacher. If you don't want to be in front of the students and they'll be looking at you like a log of wood. Yeah. Okay. Abiola, Yola, thank you, Deborah. That says passion without appreciation is not sustainable. Exactly. Is one of the few that is standing. We've lost bright minds in the teaching profession to the fields. Nigeria should do better. This is sad to watch. Well done, Hazel. Well done, Ti. Thank you, Abiola. Thank you, Deborah. Yeah. So, but like what I just gained from this, passion without appreciation is not sustainable. So a few of you that are still there in that field, we want to say thank you to you for being passionate and passing our word. Teachers should get the trainer certifications to effectively pass on knowledge. Yes. Yeah, you know something about these certifications as well again.
Yes, I want to talk about
certificates. It's not because they're passionate about it. You see people with certificates without nothing. They just tender that
very funny,
and there's nothing to show for that certificate. So it's one thing to get the certificate. It is another thing to know what you're doing to impact lives. Yeah, I want to go back to Awodia's question. He said, what do you have to say about exam? How can teachers discourage examination malpractices? Is there something you would like to say about that? How do you like?
Yes. When I prepare my students, I tell them, because I like probing into their minds. I say, I'm taking you now, and I'm exhausted. I'm taking you now. I'm exerting energy. Is it at the end of the day you will still accept whatever is given to you? Then why are we doing this? Why are we still revising? Why don't we just stop and just allow you to go into the exam and
just for everything?
Do what? Yes, and let's continue. That's a question. Yes, because it's about moral. It's a moral question, because that is one area I can't fight alone, Tolu. I can't, because if the school management wants it, just it's a way of raising the name of the school, making it popular and famous. Who am I? I'm just a loner. And so what I do is I may end up not taking part, all right, and finding myself out of the school or somewhere, because I will always say it's better not to partake in the revision on field preparation at the end, because what is the essence of preparing them at the end? They forget all that they had prepared. That is stupidity to me.
Because they know that there's one hot cake waiting for them somewhere.
Exactly. And you know what I tell them? I said, look, don't tell me, Mr. Eze, I will not accept it. No, I know you will accept it. I know. They accept it. But at the end of the day, there's something I want to say to you. I told them that if you are tempted to accept it, and you check through it, and you write everything you see there, that means you must be very foolish. I tell them that. Yes, you must be very foolish because if you're going to write everything there, I'm trying to be realistic now because I can't stop them from accepting it. I ask them, do you know that thing you're writing, probably more than 20 students must have written that before it gets to you. And so you write the same thing, and at the end, you are penalized for it. What's the essence? When you just look at it and probably, I don't know, maybe you what will modify, or no? Because if I keep on telling them, if I tell them don't accept it, I will not be there. I just tell them that, look, if you keep on doing this, by the time you get to jam, you expect somebody else to help you. By the time you get to the university, who will be there to help you? You'll be rusticated finally, eventually. That's what I tell you.
So what do we now do? Or what would be your advice to other teachers outside regarding these examination practices?
Yeah, the teacher should know that that this job called teaching is not only noble, it's divine. It's divine. Either you build the souls or you destroy them. And so if you have been engaging in it, you can withdraw now. Because you think you are gaining from helping them, but you are destroying them. You know why? Because that cognitive knowledge that they are building is destroyed right there in the exam, where they are supposed to utilize that part of the brain, pour out all they have learned, or burning at the window candle. You now give room for them to deviate from it, and you give them something easier. It means as they grow in life, they'll be looking for things that are easier. Things that are tough, they run away from it, and that will destroy them eventually. Let us teach them to go through the hard part. Let's teach them to learn how to read, learn how to pour down what they have written down, and hope for the best. Look, God will question all of us who are teachers, how you have groomed your pupils. And they know you in future. When they meet you in future, they know this is what you did to them. They know you did not impact, but you taught them how to embrace examination malpractice. When they see you, they will insult you and curse and abuse you. They won't say hello to you. Think about that. Posterity awaits, and posterity is the judgment that awaits all our wrongdoings today.
Exactly. I was about to say that. You think you are doing them good. They already know, like somebody I know will always say that. Why you are doing something, the person you are doing it to knows you. The person knows whether you are stupid or you are smart. So at that time, they know that this teacher, when they meet you later, they will display your stupidity to you. You think you are helping them, but you are showing them how stupid you are as well. So sorry for using that word, but I think that is what it is. There's another question. How do we discourage parents from examination malpractices? A situation whereby parents pay someone to aid your kids in the examination halls. In fact, the first time, let me quickly up. The first time I heard this thing, I was shocked. That was in 2002. I think I wanted to write jump again. I think that's it. I wanted to write jump, and there was this my secondary school friends. They were talking about special center, and I was like, special center, where did you see money for special? And they said their dad is paying for them. I was shocked. Like, do parents think it was only students or people that go to do this themselves? Parents pay for special center for their students, for their kids. I don't know. I don't understand this thing. So how do we discourage parents like this?
It starts with the school management. The school management is at the center. The school management is I would like to put them out. The school management calls the shots. You should know how your school runs. Because by the time you allow parents to influence you, that means you are no more in charge. You are no more in control. And when they come, they give you money, you accept bribe. That is the beginning of the fall of that school. And the parents won't tell you that. And so as a principal, as a proprietor or proprietress, you need to stand. Look, Tolu, integrity goes a long way. You can't tell me you're a man, a woman of integrity, and you are embracing examination malpractices in your school that you own, you can't tell me that I'm not going to accept that. I'm not going to perceive you as a man or woman of integrity, because that action alone has strained or has stained your integrity. And so it starts with the school management. Let parents know, let them tell them there's a blueprint, there's a school policy. Let them know that, look, your child is on his or her own during examination. We're not going to entertain. And teachers found one thing should be sanctioned. Look, this thing comes with boldness. Boldness as an owner of the school. You want teachers, you let them know that, look, I employed you. You won't come and ruin my school. This is what I want. If you have that policy and you abide by it and you stand by it, of course, teachers, we have, I mean, you even groom teachers to hate examination malpractices. And by then, we groom students who will grow up to appreciate hard work and not shortcut to success. And so the school management is at the center of this, calls the shot.
Okay, thank you. And in the case where the school management is not involved, because we now see some students, some parents take their kids to special centers, or in the case of JAM, you know that is not really a matter of the school management. What do we tell these parents?
Yes. Well, the parents who are involved in this, as parents, the care for a child is immeasurable. You want to see the child succeed, and sometimes you do not know that the action you are taking is destroying that child. And so parents must understand that part of your responsibility as a responsible parent is to teach your child how to be self-reliant and how to be self-independent as he or she grows up. If you don't teach that child that, and you're always there to rescue that child, a time will come when you will not be there. Will you be there when he or she gets to university and he's expelled because of examination malpractices? He or she will come back and blame you. But all this while, you have always been the one helping me out. You're at fault. That same child that you think you are helping will come back and tell you it's your fault. You didn't give me that solid foundation. So parents understand that time will come where the child will look back and accuse you of failing your own responsibility.
And as parents, we should not feel like kids.
We should not.
We'll just hope we don't feel like kids. Okay, there's a question here. What's your opinion about early school age? I mean, should parents encourage their kids to jump classes from class 4 to class 6, from JSS2 to SS2? Is there any implication is there any impact of the child for this? Impact on the child for this?
Yes, there is. I do not subscribe to children skipping classes. Look, the curriculum has been designed. It's like a step, a ladder. Let's forget about, he or she is too brilliant, so he can
cope.
Cope. Thank you. No. Let's discourage that. What are you in a hurry for? We're looking at the future. The future is still there. And all these steps are what will guide that child. Just imagine a child jumping from 4 to 6 and he skips the scheme of work or curriculum of primary 5. That means there's some particular subject or topics that he will never know. We think we are doing yourself, and school management will also take that, that decision. No. The custodian of our education lies with the school management. They should stop this. They should enlighten the parents, and the parents know that this is the right thing to do. I have parents who would ensure that their children go through the primaries from 1 to 6 and not skipping any, because it's part of the foundational knowledge of a child. And so let us stop it. It doesn't make sense at all. Let us be patient with them. After all, you carried the child for 9 months and you were patient with the child. With the child, we didn't give birth to the child in 4 months. No. In every time of our life, let's be patient. Everything has time. Let us not ruin the life of these children ahead of them.
Thank you. And I want to bring in the argument of some people. They say that the Nigeria of these days does not encourage our students to stay so long in school. So that is why they are doing that. Like when the child leaves leaves primary school, there's no okay, and leaves secondary school, there's no 100% assurance that the child is getting admission into the university straight away. And when even if the child now gets admission straight away, now we're talking about strike. ASU has been on strike for so long now. So I think they are looking at all this and this, even after all the strike and all the late admission and everything, by the time you will be done with your tertiary institution, you will be at this age. And looking at the work, the employment field too, I think
Age.
that is not helping. I remember the time when I
At
was
all.
out of the university, and I think I was kind of some age far, and there was no employment everywhere. And most of this employment I see, they will tell you that a particular age to this age.
Yeah,
And
yes,
someone
yes.
was advising me to doctor my certificate so I could get this job. And I was like, if I doctor it at this point, I begin to doctor here, I doctor there, I doctor there. So
Okay.
what then becomes of me? And when they have my certificate, I now start thinking of which one to produce at for each appearance.
Oh, see that.
I think, what would you say to our government for this? I think they too are part of the problem to this. Why parents are making their students to jump classes. So what will you
Yes.
say?
We talked about the fact that policies are written on papers, but they are not implemented. These policies exist, but as Nigerians, we always find a way of circumventing these laws. It's everywhere. So it starts with you. You start with the change. This is change starts with you. Now for the government has put that law in place, and of course, the government is not making effort to have inspectors going around or checking schools to see that these things happen. Because there's little or no value for education. Most of our leaders, their children are outside the country, studying.
Mm-hmm.
So
Just
what attention are you going to pay
studying.
to the Nigerian? Yes,
Yes,
even the
some of them.
budgetary allocation. The budgetary allocation is nothing to write home about. At the end of the day, it's not enough. It's not enough to cater for the primary, secondary, and tertiary institution. So it's about. I think it's about we discussing now. We are talking now. We are talking. We are saying this is wrong. I think it's a discourse that should continue. Continue to enlighten parents and school management. Let them know that these children, the same way you cannot jump from 1 to 3 years old, is the same way you cannot jump from primary 4 to 5. Everything has been laid down naturally. Let's not overtake the natural way things should be. So our government, as far as I'm concerned, for me, I've left them out of the equation, because I told you that the private sector are the ones, pushing education forward, but it comes at a cost. It's expensive. It's very expensive. So, and the government is trying to make education frustrating. Why? Yeah, because when education becomes frustrating, we don't know our rights. You don't know your right. The government can take you left, take you right, deceive you. You can't stand up tall and voice out. That is what education does to you. If you are educated, you can stand up and
Right.
voice out and say, no, this is enough. And the only way you can stop that is to trample down on education and and kill it for good. And that is what we are going through presently. But we have to fight it.
Yeah. So there's something I get from that. You talk about government has made education expensive because it's now in the hands of the private sector.
Yes, private
Mhm.
sectors.
So
If you want the
being in the
best of
hands of the
education,
private sector now, if you want the best of education, you have to pay for it. It's
you have to
expensive.
pay. You have to
So,
pay. It's
and
sad.
where
Tolu.
we get the money? But one thing I would say is that we should not look at the expense. They say that if you say education is expensive, then you try ignore it.
Try.
You now see that ignorance is even is triple time expensive than the education that you think was expensive in the first place. But we just hope that things will work for us. Things will work out so that
We
we
hope
don't
so.
have both this kind of conversation in our country.
Yes,
Because in fact it can be very
parents
vast.
parents can play a pivotal role. Look, if you have iPads at home, or this is what you need to do. Since the school your child attends, that school lacks technological innovations, which is we understand the situation of the country. But you as a parent can go further. You can get to know the scheme of work of your child. Whatever subject it is, you can go through Google, get some materials, both of you spend time together. That is why you're also learning. As I know some of our parents,
I'm not.
Apologies, you can employ a home teacher, because it's very important that, because the school cannot provide everything. And so you can have the iPad will help that child go through the teaching, get pictures, get videos, and let that child learn. The child is learning, even though he or she is being deprived this in school, which is not the fault of the school anyway, because there's no money. So the parents have a role to play too, not just seeking money for the well-being of the family.
Yeah.
So that is a big challenge.
Okay. So I want to talk about I want to narrow down that question of technology to social media. Now we know the place of technology, not social media. Do you think there's a way it's affecting learning and teaching? Social media.
Yes, in positively and negatively anyway. Positively and negatively. You know, the COVID era forced teachers, forced them out of their comfort zone. We have been relaxing. Yes, we have been relaxing, thinking that, oh, it's okay to go to class and just stand before the students and talk for 40 minutes, and they would not contribute. They will not say anything. We'll probe into them, and after talking, you off you go. So it has that. I am happy for that COVID era, because a lot of discoveries were made. Teachers had to go far, in learning how to use, social media platforms like Zoom, Google Classroom, and WhatsApp, in order to augment, since then we were forced to stay indoors. They had to read, because even those, I had teachers then who they had problems with their phones. They had to get new phones. That's one of the challenges of a teacher, and you need money to get that. You need money. Is it the poor salary structure that would make that possible? No. You have to find a way, because you don't want to lose your job. All right. So it forced us out, because the world had left us. At that time, the world has left us in the lurch. We're still behind, and that is why today Nigeria is still regarded as one of the poorly, backward nations when it comes to education. A lot of dropouts. All right. We are topping the rank. And of course, I know we're not proud of that anyway. And so for me, it was a blessing in disguise. It was a blessing in disguise, during that time, that we did that. And teachers scrambled to update themselves with the required skills needed to teach online. I remember in 2020 when Roseland, the proprietress, invited me to take part in preparing the students for WIAC. I taught literature in English on WhatsApp. The students responded, but unfortunately, I don't know what is happening at the other end. So so it wasn't video. It was just a normal chat. I presume that they were listening. And how did I get to know? If I say, are you with me? The swift response, told me then that, oh, okay, you guys are with me. And if there's any delay, I knew that you are up to something. You're up to something. Yes. Okay. Yes. And so that also gave me the opportunity to establish my initiative, Ezelous Easy Online School. Because If not for COVID, Tolu, I wouldn't have thought about that. I wouldn't have thought about that. So the COVID era came as a blessing in disguise because I had to, although it was inspired by my elder sister anyway, so I had to, you know, bring up that online outfit, and it's still alive today. I take clients on Zoom class, and distance is not a barrier. Then the social media also provide a pool of unlimited access to infos. It helps the teacher. You don't have to go to class anymore feeling exhausted. You can browse, get information, and give your students, yes, yeah, you're happy about that. Give them homework, project work, and they can always submit before the deadline or on that deadline. So it makes you can get pictures, you can get videos, you're at your own, comfort zone. You know within you that you have done a great job. But if it had been the physical interaction, that would be very difficult. 40 minutes, you come here, you talk. How many minutes will it take? 40 minutes is gone. You might not have impacted anything. But coming to the negative aspect, absence of physical interaction, it has taken its toll as well, because we need physical interaction.
Yeah,
you don't know what the children are facing.
Yes.
Exactly. You don't know what they're going through individually or physically. The child needs to be physically fit, emotionally fit for you to impart. And so whatever that child is there, you don't know what he or she is going through. And so you're just teaching online. You may not know, that could affect that child educationally. Then distraction and abuse. And that's why I want to make reference to the Chris Land saga. We talk about the appropriate time to give your child gadgets to use. For me, personally, I don't know about anyone. When the child enters secondary school, he or she doesn't need anything. She doesn't need it till SS3. He or she doesn't need it. We think they do. They don't need it. And that is why, because the children of today, they are curious. They're curious. They want to. They are on adventure, and they are very smart. And so when you give them that phone and you think they are online, they are not online. They are busy doing something else, chatting up relationship, trying to hook up, and at the end, it affects their studies. And that is why we also talk about parenting, parenting style, authoritative, authoritarian, permissive, and non-involved. I took time to analyze the parent of that girl, and I came to the conclusion that the parent of that girl, especially the mom, was not authoritative or authoritarian. She was more of permissive and non-involved. Permissive means that you can permit the child to do whatever he or she wants.
But
yes, and you don't need to supervise that.
Assumed with just with that short video can we just assume with that short video that we saw that she was
okay, let's look at it. The phone was given to her by the mom. Why not? Who else would have done that? They feel that she is mature enough
to do that. Phone. What if it was the dad? What if it was someone else that gave her the phone?
Fine, anyone, Tolu, anyone, it still boils down on the parent. Let's stop assuming that these children are ripe to use this phone now. It is destructive. Look, what is contained in the phone is enough to ruin a child lifelong. Yes, distorting that brain that makes the child contemplate between good and evil. That part of the brain gets destroyed, and that part that tells the child this is bad is destroyed already, and the child will always conform with negative all through his life. So you can see what the child was doing, in private. If the child didn't have that phone, she wouldn't. Look, personally, I'm not going to say because I've brought my child up, then I look at him and say, well, I think you are ripe enough to use. I will not do that. I'm not going to presume that. I'm going to give you that phone when you're about to gain admission to the university. That is the right, that's also the right thing. Because if that child goes out, it's going to affect other children. And you start having, a chain
So
a
what,
chain of
how are you
students
not
from
even sure that when you wait till that time to give the child the phone, that the child will not still engage in such thing? How are you even sure that the child? For me, my own um point would be that whether you give the child the phone or not, it's just that you are involved in the child's life.
okay.
Because if you don't give the child the phone and the child has access to it with their friends, and all these things that they're doing, you don't even know that this child already has access to this thing, to this phone. But in a situation where you give the child the phone and you let the child know that this is the boundary, this is
Yes.
this is what and what I want you to do with this phone. Instead of just giving the child the phone and you give the child unlimited access to the phone and everything. So why I think it's also possible to give the child the phone and monitor the child. Although giving the child the phone, you then as a parent, you determine the age you really want to give. Because as some parents, they go
Yes.
out and the only way they communicate with their child is through this phone.
Definitely.
So, and if the phone is not available, how do they communicate with the child? And so I think it all boils down to still, just like you said, to parenting. And our local
Tolu.
approach will improve our. Okay, I think you will have to answer that after because there's so much to still talk about.
Yes, Tolu.
Yeah.
I wanted to cut in. Yeah, no, we have. Is it necessary that you have to get them Android phones? I'm
No,
just
no,
asking.
no, no. So that I think
Because,
that's
yeah,
the
because
type of phone as well.
exactly, and because communication is key. As a parent, look at your child in the eye and let that child know how much you love them,
Hmm.
and let them know that look, this is damaging, this is destructive, this could ruin you, this could make mommy and daddy cry. Do you want to see me cry?
Hmm.
Have you seen me cry before? There's a way you can be so emotionally attached to your child. Let them know, and let them say, have this. This, just use this. This would serve as the channel of communication between both of us. And it's also about the discipline you have as a parent. You can't be loose as a parent.
Mm-hmm.
Let them know right from their growing that look, this my dad is an authoritative person, though he's disciplined, but he always wants to listen to me as well. Not that you are the type that would, be so fearing that your children would want to, come close to you. That's another area of parenting. So coming back to your question negatively, it has also, when it comes to data usage, that's another problem. Then a child might not partake if the child does not subscribe,
Hmm.
loses, he or she complains that I can't partake because I have no data. You're not going to blame that child.
Hmm.
All right. So those are the negative aspects of social media. Then laziness, using the phone for porn, obscene, so a lot of things are involved. But that
Yeah.
does not mean we shouldn't still use it. Yes, we
Yeah.
shouldn't still
So
use
we can't
social
say
media.
hey because of how do they do this program? Anyway, we can't say because there are so many negatives in social
We
media
should embrace
that
it.
we are not going to use it. We have to focus on the advantage. We have to focus on the positive aspect. So I think we should end this session because it's been a very long one, almost an hour and 30 minutes. So, but before we round up the conversation, I'd like you to tell us more about Ezelous and how you can be contacted.
Okay, thank you. Um,
The online
Zealous,
school,
is it the online
Ezelous
platform
online English school.
and generally?
Yes.
Okay, Zealous Online English is a platform designed to meet the English skills of clients for personal development or for examination purposes. Um, it meets all needs: WAEC, JAM, IELTS, SAT, TOEFL, proofreading, editing. I'm always online. I have my contact. You can visit my page on Facebook. I have my page on Facebook. I'm also active on WhatsApp. So distance is not a barrier.
Yeah.
I have students who currently studying in the US, some in the UK. I had to take them on TOEFL and IELTS, and they're there now, and some who I currently take. And so that's my only little way of impacting, yes, because other times I take jam students, I take WIAC, some for free because, their success is what I crave for. So and my the let me now, the cost is affordable. It's affordable because I feel more privileged. I feel more excited and interested in impacting more, in that person. I know money is very important, but at the same time, I need to help someone. Yeah.
Thank you, Hazel. So you can also reach you. We can reach on your Facebook platforms and also on WhatsApp. So you can put that in the chat for as many who would like to reach you. Maybe after this session, you can put it in the chat how you can reach. So it takes people on TOEFL, on IELTS, and other international English exams, right?
Yes.
For Jam, you can also reach out to him. He's been in this business for 20 years, and he has success stories. Just like you said, that his students are everywhere. And you can also see them, some of them were even on this comment session, and very appreciative. Okay, so we've come to the end. I have to keep some other questions because even more than I thought, the questions were coming in. Thank you so much, Hazy, for this.
Yes, can I
conversation?
Okay. Yes.
Please go ahead. Go on, please.
Yes. Yes. In a final word, looking back 20 years, I have no regret. So looking back, I have no regret. I need to tell you, it has been great. It has been great. It's as if everything is afresh every day, every morning. I see new students. I take them. Even in my 40s now, I know in the next 20 years I'm still active. Look at that journey. That has to do with a life, yes. And passion has no strings attached. I need to let people know that. Has no strings attached. It has no materialistic things attached to it. It's just you moving on and trudging on till when God calls. And some of us are down here. I want to say this, some of us are down here, while some of you are up there. We are down here. It's not that we are comfortable. No, we are doing something. We are doing something. We are preparing minds. We are trying to ensure that we devoid the top of mediocrity and incompetence. So we are working down here. We are working assiduously. We are working unrelentlessly to ensure that we produce young minds that will change the future. So while you are up there, please help us. Help us to continue to make that impact while we are here. It's not competitive. Nothing is competitive then. All right. So that is what that's what that passion has led us to. And so I want to employ everyone to discover that purpose for which you have been created, so that you can live it and love it.
Thank you. Live it and love it. So you will not just live the passion, you love it as well. So this conversation will continue in the comment section because I still see questions coming in. Like Usman says, do you think teaching words in our local language will improve or have an impact on the outcome of learning? Eze, I would like you to please answer that question in the comment section because of the
Okay.
Every other questions that are there, please, you can attend to them, and hopefully that will address the situation. Thank you again for to be here today. I'm really happy and
thank you too.
Able to make it here.
Thank you,
and it's been very engaging. It's been a time, like you said, it's going to be a time of relearning and learning. And thank you, because I had to learn some things and also relearn some things. For all our viewers, for those that are still here, those that have gone, and those that are still going to watch this program, I want to say thank you to you. You are the superhuman that have been making this go on, and I want to appreciate you
Yes,
again
thank
and
you so
again.
much.
Kindly react, love, share, and invite your friends to watch this episode as well. And for previous episode and subsequent episodes, you will always see them on my YouTube channel, Tolulope Ibitola. Thank you. Is there something else I'm missing? Okay, just we've come to the end and say thank you again. Until I come your way again, my name is Mr. Lope Ibitola. Please keep loving yourself, because you can only give from the abundance of the love that you have for yourself. Thank you. Bye bye, Hazy.
All right, Tolu, thank you so much.
It's been a
Thank you.
pleasant time
Thank
with
you.
you.
The pleasure is mine.
You.
Thank you. God bless you.
Yeah.
And continue your good work.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the encouragement.